And we're live.
And we're live. Okay, so we're all here to make fun of Tony Wang for being the only one not to get Google Drive today.
I'm the only one.
Everyone plant Tony.
It's a cosmic joke of the universe on you.
Everyone plant Tony.
Oops, hold on a second, I got feedback.
Somebody's playing that.
Yeah, I have 3 Google accounts and I have 0 Google Drives. 0 Google Drives.
Did you try
So
getting
are you on the wait
URL
list
on
for
all
it?
accounts?
I am on the list, so I've just been waiting for an email. I am on the list, so I've just been waiting for an email.
Oh, that's Trey. Trey, you're playing.
Sorry, that's me. Sorry. I'm mad. We were trying to test something. We had multiple browser windows open and trying to figure out when it goes live. Anyway, you know. It's okay now, though. So, sorry, I missed out. Are we being proper, making sure that Tony is the only one here that doesn't have Google Drive? I guess so.
Yeah, I got it, but I cheated. I was in the worm when they launched it.
What do you guys? Who's used it, and what do you think?
Seems simple enough. I mean, sync your folder up or down. So.
Yeah, it just shows up as a folder in your desktop, and you move files in and out any way you want.
Yeah.
Seems really quick.
Yeah, it does seem quick.
Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's actual Chrome extensions / apps that are Google Drive apps that will work on your files in your Google Drive.
Like what?
There's image editors and stuff, and workflow type things, and project management type stuff, and
There's also a fax application, which sounds silly, but once or twice a year you have to fax someone, so I added that.
I hate faxing. Isn't it the worst?
I hate it.
I believe it. It drives me nuts.
It's a government thing or a medical thing.
Yes.
What's next, telex? I mean, it just seems so antiquated. So I'm not a fan. In the medical industry, which I'm only a nominal part of, it's still a major tool, sadly enough. So.
Yeah. Faxing, it always just drains my very soul whenever I have to fax anything to anybody.
I'm always wary of adding these extensions by authors that I don't know, especially if they're going to get access to my docs. So I don't do any of that.
Point. So, does anyone use, I'm a huge Dropbox user. Yeah. Dropbox has changed my life over the past few years. Does anyone here use Dropbox?
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to until their security breach, and then I stopped. So.
So I think Dropbox is in trouble with this. The only major feature I can tell that Dropbox has that G Drive doesn't is the ability to share a link to a document for public download or whatever without having to share it to them specifically.
So you cannot get a link to a Google Doc document because they just announced that thing in Dropbox, which I didn't really understand. Because, hey Cameron, I think we're getting feedback through your system. Yeah, I think so. I see your green line jumping up and down while I'm talking. There, thanks.
That's better.
Because this is the feature that I've loved in Dropbox, and I've used a ton over the past 2 years. Is I have a folder, and I'm always dumping stuff in, and then I just right-click and I get a URL link, and I email that to people all the time. So. You can't do that with Google Drive?
Sure you can.
Well, you can do it for a Google Doc, but you can't do it for a regular file that you put into Google Drive. You
can. Yeah, I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. I'm going to send you guys a link to a PDF that I have in Google Drive.
Dave, I'm going to defer to the guy that works at Google with the Google shirt on.
I concur with that assessment.
Your difference of opinion. I'm going to go with Ricardo.
So, I have a quick question. So I don't have a Google Drive, but somehow I have the app installed on my phone.
Whoa.
And it's telling me to update it. How does that happen? I never installed this. Did Google install this without telling me? How did this happen?
There. I just put a link in the chat, which is just a URL to a document that I have in Drive. It's a PDF that I have in my Drive.
Right, but it's linking to the Google Doc. Like, it's not giving me the PDF directly. Like, can you link to like an MP3 on your Google Drive
Or a JPEG, or a PSD.
or a zip file? You know, like.
Well, this is a PDF file. It could be any kind
Yeah,
of file.
but Google Docs supports PDF as a format. So.
Okay, so what do you want to try?
Do a PSD.
Yeah.
What do you want to try?
Photoshop document.
Try a Photoshop file.
All right, I'll put up a Photoshop doc and see what happens.
All right.
Give me a second.
Because maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is fantastic. Because yeah, I use that a lot too, Trey, and that's what Dropbox changed the other day. Now you can do it in any folder. You used to have it in your public folder,
All right.
but now you can just have it anywhere.
Well, they sure did make a big announcement over a relatively minor change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they knew Google Drive was coming, and they felt like they had to give some giant announcement over a minor feature upgrade.
Marketing schmarketing, as they say.
Your Google Drive is not ready yet, Tony Wayne.
I have the app on my phone that I didn't install, but
You know, I bet Google just sent you that app just to taunt you even more.
yeah, they are. I'm gonna cry.
Maybe you have it just now. Go check you should go check again.
On your phone, did you used to use Docs on your phone?
Yeah, it looks like this is part of Docs, huh?
They may have just
Did they
updated
rename the
it.
Docs app to Drive? Is that what happened?
I think
yeah.
that's what they probably did.
Yeah, it looks like this is Docs, but they renamed it.
They did that with Play the day that was released. They announced they had a rebranding.
Yeah, that was confusing.
Tony, check your account again. I'm curious.
So, I mean, you guys saw that. I mean, Drive is like the evolution of Docs.
Right.
So it's not a separate product.
It's replacing Docs, or it's merged with Docs.
It's not even replacing. It is Docs.
Right.
Yeah,
Docs
it looks like it is.
now as Drive. Like if I go to, I don't see Docs anymore in my bar. It's Google Drive.
Yeah, I don't have it. This is sad.
It is sad, Tony.
You'll get it at some point, Tony.
You'll just have to use Dropbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, a quick intro. I'm a Googler. I've talked to a few of you guys before.
Hey there.
Nothing confidential is going to come out of my mouth. Geraldo. Trey, you and I were in a hangout way in the early days of Plus, and I know a lot of people that you know out of Google. I'm here. I can answer some Drive questions, but I'm going to be really limited because I've gotten burned before. So Dave is correct in saying that Docs is going away and Drive is what Docs used to be. So for those who are enabled with Drive, you should no longer see documents anywhere, or the word documents anywhere in the one bar, in the navigation bar. You should see Drive.
Yeah, thanks, Geraldo. I think that's what. Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying. Thanks. It's a great explanation of that.
Looks like I can give access control to each individual file in here. I can do it to a JPEG.
I do like how we can now share a whole folder.
Hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
Chris Foster. Hey Trey, how you doing, bud?
Good. How you
Great
doing?
to meet you finally, face to face.
Well, have low expectations. Hey, so Geraldo, we have a question about Google Drive. Can you? Ricardo is working on this right now. Can you right-click and get a link to any kind of file and email it to somebody?
You mean right-click on the web interface or right-click on the desktop interface? What do you mean?
Desktop interface for the Mac.
I should try it on my Mac. I'm on Windows right now, but let me try it on Windows.
That's my favorite thing about Dropbox is that I'm always sending like PSD files or JPEG files or TIFF files or things to printers or to third parties.
I know what you mean. Like when you put it on Dropbox's public folder, you can actually then right-click on it and say copy public link.
Yeah, copy URL to clipboard.
Again, this is not showing up on my Windows version, so I don't think it's there. I should try on the Mac. So.
Well, from the web UI you can.
Yeah, from the web UI, you can. You have to actually click on the file.
So I'm almost done. I picked too big of a PSD file, so it's taking forever to upload it.
You could also right-click on the file in the web interface and share it by email.
Ricardo, are we getting a 36 megapixel shot of your beard?
I accidentally uploaded 100. Well, how big is this file? I should have done something that big.
Lisa Donchak is asking me to say hi to you, Trey.
She just
She can say hi herself now. She just elbowed her way in.
Ah, there she is.
Good, she can class it up a little bit in here. It was going downhill fast.
Pretty fast. Lisa's absolutely classy, so I can agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa. Ah, she's not listening.
Yeah. Her computer's full of cat videos right now, and we're 5 windows back. So, what's the cost comparison between Dropbox and Google Drive? Is Google Drive free, or what's going on?
You get 5 gigabytes free, and you can upgrade. And if you look at the cost comparisons, again, this is all public. You look at the cost comparisons; we're a little cheaper than than Dropbox prices. I think Dropbox is $50.
$99 for 50 gigs for a year.
$99 for 50 gigs.
Versus $60 for 100 gigs at Google Drive.
Dave, I like your microphone. You sound
you.
You sound so sexy with it.
Oh. Well,
I kid. I'm gonna pull out mine if I have a Blue Yeti.
So
No, microphone.
that link that I just put into the chat is a PSD file in my drive.
Yeah, just download it. Cool.
I had to make it really small so that it was.
Hey, Lisa.
So can you try try something that cannot be viewed by the viewer?
I'll be able to share it still. It's just that it's either going to be viewable in the web UI, or it's just going to be like, here's the file. Do you want to download it? But I can try something else.
It's nice, but it's still like I still have to sit there and click in it and then try to download it from there, right? Like instead of you can't just give me a link that automatically downloads the file, basically.
That's right. It's a 2-step process. So the link will open the representing web page, which contains the file, and then a click later you can download or do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, it's nice. But just in some situations, I don't want to send people a link that they don't understand what to do.
Okay. I got to go to File Download, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So, Ricardo, how did you get the link to that PSD file? Did you get it on your desktop, or did you have to go to a web interface to get it?
No, it was on the web interface. I clicked on the file, and then there's a share button on the top right. And you click on the share button, and then in this case, I told it, because when you first upload something, it's private. Stuff is always private when you first upload it. So then I clicked change on the privacy, and I made it so that anyone with a link can see it. And then once I did that, at the top, there's a link that I can copy and just paste into the chat, or there's some buttons here to share it via Google+, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter.
Is there a Google Drive app for desktops or PCs?
Yes.
Windows and Mac.
And it gives you Finder integration when you use that.
Right.
Right. When you sign up, it'll prompt you to download the app.
Yes, Tony. If you had Google Drive, you would know this.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's got a big banner on top that tells you to download it.
It's the first thing you do, basically.
I do have to say I got my free 25 gig of storage on SkyDrive today. Didn't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I got that, and I'll never use it.
Yeah. Well, you don't really download a client for that when you download Clippy. And it says, hey, you might want to put this on SkyDrive.
It looks like you're trying to share a file with some friends.
Clippy.
Oh, Clippy humor. Okay, so Dave, we're also, by the way, we're also side testing this on-air feature because it messed up in our show last night. I guess we won't know until we actually end the broadcast, right, Dave?
Right. I'm pretty confident that it's okay because you already can see it in the YouTube account and the YouTube video manager. It's just not, it's just sitting there. But last night's wasn't there at all.
Cool. Also, I guess I'll do a little live announcement now. On Friday night at 5 p.m. PT, we're doing a guest host cage match. I am going out of town for 2 weeks. I'll be down in the islands, and my connection may be so sketchy. I don't know. And I want the show to continue on its regular scheduled time every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And so we have a couple of guest hosts we'll bring in there and have a cage match to figure out who will be guest hosting while I might be gone, so you can tune in for that. Let's see what happens.
Cage match? What happens in the cage match?
And do you know who the contestants are?
The other reason for that is we're also testing like full-on YouTube Live. And so Tony Wang up at Twit Studios is going to try to work some magic and see if we can take the whole stream and put it through youtube.com/live, which right now it looks like it's filled with lots of strange, like people live streaming their game of Super Mario 64 and weird stuff.
Which I would definitely watch, I would like to say.
Well, it's there right now. You could be the 17th live viewer on that one. All right. Well, back to Google Drive. Who's used it the most, other than Google employees?
I've used this a little bit today. Mostly, I had to go through and edit some of my old Google Docs and delete old stuff, old client stuff that I didn't have anymore. It really just kind of feels like Google Docs got converted to a cloud format.
And what do you? I noticed I installed it, and it immediately took my 100 Google Docs and it copied them all down to my Mac, which is fine. It was really fast, actually. But now they're just all kind of like in this one folder, and I always feel like that's a little bit sloppy. So I don't know what your situation was, but did you then take those and put them in folders and organize them, or are you just going to just leave them all just kind of just sloppy there?
Well, I started editing them and cleaning them up, going through and saying, okay, what does this need to do? There was something on the area that's normally Google Docs that said that they'll eventually be upgraded to some new doc format. So what I started doing was going through them and cleaning them up. One thing I noticed that was kind of cool was that whether I deleted or edited stuff in the local saved files, they were automatically changing up in the cloud. Now I didn't create any new directories or any new folders, so I don't know if they automatically would folderize when I did that locally. But it seemed pretty seamless in being able to work in and of itself. I wasn't waiting for anything to move around. Once I deleted a file, it would delete on the other end.
I'll give you guys a couple of tips. Again, because I'm a Googler, I've been using this a little bit more. But folder structure is really a good idea. And we've had folder structures for a while now in Google Docs. And naturally, folder structures just became a great way to organize. We use, obviously, Google Docs a lot. So without folder structures, you're going to end up with a whole mess of files at one single level. And once you actually visualize it like you just did, Trey, it becomes a hassle. Now, there's another thing which I do. I actually created a folder inside Docs, and I called it Sync. And then I made my sync client only sync that folder. Right, so I know that anything that I put in that folder on the web interface, that's what's going to get synced over to my Google Drive or to my desktop, right? So that sort of, keeps me a little bit more organized because I know that only the files I want to work actively on my desktop are being put into the sync folder. And the beauty of Google Docs is that you can actually figure out how to put other folders inside that sync folder without actually moving them, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you guys remember the old Google Docs that had labels rather than folders. So in Google Docs, you would take a file and you would actually label it twice, just like you do in Gmail. That means it actually kind of belongs to two folders. Well, you can sort of still do that. There's kind of a hidden way. You just hold down the Control key, or I believe the Command key on the Mac, and you can still do that for files. So it's the same single file. I'll put it in sync if I wanted to sync down, but it still retains the old structure if I drag and drop it using the Control key. So I've learned those things. I've gotten really, really comfortable at doing those. It lets me manage what I sync on my desktops in a really, really good way. And I've been using a lot of Premiere and Photoshop files just as a side project. I've been doing a lot of videos for a project, and that's just been amazing. Just the way it all sort of works. And I have these videos shared out with the internal Google, whereas it's still only copied if I wanted to. If it's in my sync folder, it's a matter of beauty. So, from my experience, folders plus being smart about them will help you a lot.
So I have a question. Is Google Drive using delta syncing for the files? Like, so it's only syncing what changes in a file rather than the whole file if it doesn't have to?
I don't know if I can say, so I won't.
Oh.
Whoa!
I would imagine yes, because there's no reason.
I've learned to be very cautious. I got caught in a little debacle when I was joining Hangouts randomly, like I did now, and I answered a question, and unfortunately, I shouldn't have answered. It was an obvious question, but I'm just going to be very cautious.
So you can check for yourself, right? You have the tools.
Well, I guess you can upload a huge file and see how long it takes by making a small change.
The one thing it's been asking is if I want to upgrade certain files, and there's an extended upgrade that's available for Google Docs that will eventually, I guess, be rolled out. Does anybody know what the difference is in the upgrade?
Can you say that question again?
What it's doing is when I go into Docs, I get a red bar at the top that says your Google Docs will be eventually upgraded to a new version of Google Docs. Do you want to do this? Do you want to upgrade now? It looks like I hit the upgrade button and it did all of them, so I'm not seeing it anymore. But I don't really know what the difference was. Maybe.
You know what? I never went through that process, so I don't know. I've been Drive enabled for a while now, and I never saw any progress bar.
Yeah, here it is. The document will soon be upgraded to the latest version of Google Documents. Upgrade now.
Interesting.
So you can also do offline access easier now with it. So if you enable offline access and install the Chrome extension for that, and you have and you double-click on the file for the document in your folder on your desktop, it should open Chrome right to that document offline. But it's offline viewing only. It's not right access. But it's still nice to have.
You're a little quiet, Dave, by the way. You might want to get closer to your mic. You're kind of soft.
I'm quiet?
Yeah.
I guess what it's saying is the new advanced features with the new version is real-time collaboration, advanced formatting tools, ruler, margins, indentation, and tab stops, more robust revision history, even more fonts, and ability to view documents and spreadsheets offline.
So I think what you're seeing is an upgrade that's unrelated to Drive. A few weeks back, it actually started months ago, we started upgrading I guess just the core of our three main products, documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. So in fact, it's been a while since I saw something like an upgrade because, again, we've been using that for a while now. But what you might be seeing is that you're opening a document that you haven't opened in a long time. And what you might be getting is that alert saying, oh, this was done with a previous version of Google Docs. It's going to be upgraded. But you would have gotten that yesterday anyways, before the Drive launch. So I don't think it's related to the Drive launch. The last one we did, and you'll probably notice it more, the last one we did was upgrade presentations. So if you open a presentation you haven't opened in, let's say, a couple of months, you might get, oh, this is going to be upgraded. But I don't think we actually changed the structure of the documents with Drive at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure we didn't.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was something I had to do with Drive.
Yeah, it's just I mean, you're using Google Docs / Drive now just because it's a new thing, but I don't think you've probably not opened these documents very frequently. And
Yeah, they're definitely older.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, the great thing about what I loved about Dropbox was so seamless on how it all came together and integrated with the Mac, the Windows, my iOS mobile, and it was just brainless. It just installed and set up, and the experience today was pretty much the same with the Google stuff. It was a no-brainer. Log it in. I didn't have to go hunt around for stuff.
Cool.
So I like the experience so far.
Hey, can I interrupt you guys with a breaking camera alert?
Does that mean broken camera?
Alert.
No. By the way, tomorrow this just reminded me of something else. Tomorrow I'm taking my D3X and I'm putting it on eBay. So the bidding may ensue in less than 24 hours. That's not the news alert, though. The news alert is I just got an email from my friend Steve Simon. Some of you guys may know. He's a well-known photographer, very good photographer. And I guess somehow he has finagled to get the first, public usage of this new lens. It's I'll show you some photos here. It's the 28mm 1.8G lens. He says, I had the great honor to make sample images for Nikon Corporation from the forthcoming blah, blah, blah lens. Wow. It's fast, light, sharp, and sweet.
Is it a
I
prime?
might as well share them with you here on Google+. So I'm going to share my screen here. You guys can see it first. Are you ready? This is exciting.
We're ready.
I've just hijacked this Google Drive conversation into something else.
Hey, the name of the hangout was like testing out new things, so that qualifies, right?
There we go. Okay, so
Hey Trey, that camera you're putting on eBay, you can get a write-off by giving that to charity. So if you need my address, let me know.
Okay. All right, so let's see what Steve did here with this camera. I don't know how long he's had it, but
oh, nice. Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Where's he from? That'll tell you how long he's had it.
Can I make this thing disappear? I guess it fades away after a minute.
It does.
Yeah, that bugs me too.
Steve does this thing with his compositions sometimes where he puts interesting stuff right at the bottom, and it's too bad for that little thing that appears.
Take note, Ricardo. Take note.
I think it's trying to help you develop patience.
Yeah, just put a little if then, like if Steve Simon put that thing on top. Oh, that's a cool photo.
That lens is so huge, it's wondering to break the camera off.
Well, that's like that other fisheye that they were showing.
The one that can see behind you.
220 degrees.
Well, I like that. That is a pretty cool shot.
That's really cool.
Oh, see, he's lucky to live in New York. He sees all this stuff. That doesn't look like New York.
That's not New York, yeah.
Yeah. So we're on 17 of 35 here. I guess he released 35 photos. Ooh, that's a cool one.
That's cool.
So these are on Google Plus already?
Yeah, if you guys go circle Steve Simon, I'll link to him here too.
Oh, I do follow
You guys can see his stuff.
I already followed him.
All right, there he is meeting a few local ladies. Steve Simon.
Picking up the chicks with the camera.
That's kind of a lecherous shot. Very good. I like it. Cool. So this would be a really fun lens to walk around with at night, wouldn't it? It's so wide open. I mean, he's not using any artificial lighting here. It's all just what's there.
You know what's funny? I'm looking at the pictures too, and I just found out that if you leave the comments strip on the right, then that pop-up doesn't happen.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. So you have to but then you have to see the comments on the right.
Yeah, then I have to see that big white box.
Yeah, see, I just want a non-intrusive mode. I don't want the full screen button to be over the picture either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want stuff over my pictures.
The Facebook one is actually a little bit cleaner, y'all. I hate to say it, but it's true. Like if I let me jump over to Facebook here. I know, you guys know. But look, if I take this thing, how do I get this thing full screen?
Wow.
You guys know?
I think there's a bottom on the top. Isn't there something on? Not me there.
Is it this one? No.
No, that's a cross.
Oh, this one right here.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Does that come across on the Hangout?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, there's something going on with the browser, right? But it is mega full screen.
Well, they went to full screen mode.
So Trey, have you installed Mohammed's extension that does the full screen for G+?
No.
Yeah, it works nicely. It makes it work just like Facebook's.
That looks really clean to me.
Wow.
We'll close that up. Anyway, I just wanted to show a little difference there, as long as we got a few Google people on here.
So Trey, are you hosting those photos at Facebook, or are those just links to photos you're hosting somewhere else?
No, I upload those to Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I put sometimes I put the same photo on Facebook and Google+, but I tend to spend a lot more time interacting on Google+, actually. So I put a little bit more care. I only have so much time and care I can put into every day, And I don't have people, we have a team, but I don't have them pretend to be me and go comment and interact. That seems too weird. Anyway.
For that, you have to be Madonna.
Yeah. All right. Sorry for that photography interruption, but I thought that lens was pretty cool, and I liked Steve Simon. And I'll go plus link to him right now in the main thread, and you guys can keep talking about Google Drive. Tell us something else about it that's kind of awesome that we might not know, Geraldo.
Oh, on the spot here. Well, if you've never used Dropbox, everything is awesome about it. But there are things that resonate. Storage is storage. You're dragging and dropping. You're putting things in there. It's available on Android. I don't know if it's out on iOS. Can you guys confirm?
No, it's not.
Yes. Dropbox.
Okay.
The post that I saw today said
No, Drive.
Google Drive's not out on iOS yet.
Yeah. It said
okay, so I'll leave it at that. But the idea is that the device experience is very, very similar. Of course, we have a great opportunity to integrate it with even more Google properties. So I think that's where you're going to see a lot of the cool action happening. But I can't say anything about that.
Yeah, it's already integrated with G+. You can post pictures from, when you're making a post, you can post a picture from your Google Drive.
Oh, so when you go into the picture?
Yeah, when you make a new post in your stream, if you click Add Picture, one of the options is from Google Drive, from G Drive.
That's cool. Yeah.
I suspect that will get a lot better. I was just testing it here a few minutes ago.
Now, do I have to do something to connect my Picasa to my Google Drive, or is it automatically somehow?
Well, they're kind of separate.
I have to create a folder, maybe?
No, what do you mean connect your Picasa?
Well, he was talking about how if I make a post in the app.
Well, no.
Those pictures already all exist in Google+, because Picasa is the backend for Google+.
Exactly, right.
Right, but if
there's a question
wondering
here in the comments. This question is from Sean S., and it's for Geraldo, who I guess has demonstrated some sort of mastery, competence, and reliability. So questions seem to be coming into you, Geraldo. And this question says, in Google Drive, you can upload a folder that contains subfolders. But if you download the folder from Google Drive back to your computer, you lose your folders and subfolders.
I've never
the
seen
zip
that.
file contains the files only.
Well, let me test that, because that had my experience. It's easy to test because I have folders with a lot of infrastructure here.
All right, Sean S. I got my best man on the case.
All
Tony,
right.
how's your dinner, Tony?
What are you eating, Tony? Show us. Some gruel.
It's jambalaya.
All right, I just moved a folder from my Google Drive to my regular desktop. The folder contains 4 subfolders and a bunch of files at the main level of the folder and a bunch of files inside those subfolders. Right now I'm going to move it back. I'm just drag and dropping it into my Google Drive folder. Moving it back and clicking on it, and everything's there. All subfolders. Yeah, so looks like everything's there.
Is he saying that in the web interface that the folder structure is not there or something maybe? Is that...
Sean asks if you can hear us, please clarify if you mean on the web interface or the Google Drive drag and drop.
Why did he say the zip file contains files only? Did he get the whole thing as a zip?
If he got a zip, then he must have done like...
Oh, so he's okay, so what he's doing is he's downloading from the web interface. Right.
Like he must have done like a bulk download of a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And Google just treats that as a flat download.
That's a separate way of using it. That's not. I mean, that's like you're not using the sync feature.
Yeah. It's a fair way to use it though, but so the good news is, Sean, you won't have to use that anymore. You can just drag and drop from your sync folder, which makes it cool. But if you did, I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it myself over here using my regular interface.
Sounds like he did it the wrong way. Like he was holding the iPhone wrong.
Well, I mean, that's not true.
Sounds like what he's doing is a regular docs feature, not necessarily a drive feature, because you do have the capability to say download. You can. I'm actually going to click on the exact same folder I just used. It's FYI was a pictures folder, and I have it classified with stuff in it. So I'm going to go on the web interface now. I'm going to replicate what Sean seems to be saying, clicking on the pics top folder and clicking on download. And it looks like it just takes every single file in that folder, even if they're in subfolders, and it loses the structure. So anyways, I have 60 files distributed in 5 subfolders under pics. So all it's doing is finding those 60 files and giving me a zip file with the 60 files. So folder structure is not conserved. He's right. And that's probably the way it's doing. You just want to share those files and not necessarily the structure. Again, the good news is if you're using the sync tool, when you're drive enabled, we'll just be able to actually click and zip will act upon the OS file structure, so your file structure will be maintained, but not through the docs web interface. Yeah, I'm confirming. I'm opening up the zip file, and it is. Oh, you know what? I am mistaken. All the structure is there.
Well, I think he said that the first folders were there, but the subfolders weren't, or something.
No, I actually have a subfolder. I actually have 4 levels deep folders here. 1, 2, 3. If you guys want, I can project. There's nothing here other than screen share.
Well, I'm going to pop off because I have to actually sell this product tomorrow in a couple of hours. So good luck with the learning process. And Geraldo, I'm glad you're the one fielding questions.
Yeah, thanks for avoiding those questions there, Lisa.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime, happy to do it. All right,
I'll see you. All right, so I've clicked on the zip file. You guys, I don't know if this is legible or not, but you can see this is the zip file. It actually has a top-level folder here, and these are my pic folders right here. And then I can drill down. You'll see I'm drilling down all the way to this. So I have top folder, 1, 2, 3 levels down that were included in the zip file. So maybe he means something else, but it seems to be working. I didn't expect this to work. I was actually assuming that he was right, but once I tested it, it seems to be respecting all these folders.
Maybe if really, really long file names are used at multiple levels of nesting, maybe that reduces the folder structure. We have that kind of protection in the
maybe if we use all alt ASCII codes.
All right, you know what? I'm not Q&A, so you guys go do that by yourselves.
Good answer.
Well, thanks, Geraldo. I gotta get running here.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, when I end the broadcast, the whole thing ends. So sorry about that. But thanks, thanks for hanging out. And, we'll look at the comments and stuff and see if we can answer other questions.
Thanks, Trey.
Geraldo will, not me.
Oh, I'm going to have Lisa answer them next.
Trey.
All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.